Great pleasure, for one, to welcome to this great state, but to welcome to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the Hall of Fame promoter, Don King. I hope you're doing well, sir. Welcome to Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
It's a delight for me to be in Tuscaloosa, Alabama via 99.1 The Tag. This is the game, and I'm just honored and very privileged to be on your station.
Absolutely.
With the double Ryan, Ryan and Ryan.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, Don, I must advise you, when you visit the state of Alabama, there's a decision that you have to make, okay? It's not about Saturday night. It's about college football. It's either Alabama or Auburn. You have to declare once you enter the state of Alabama. Don, have you declared if you're going to be an Alabama guy or an Auburn guy?
Well, I'm just delighted to be here and to learn about Alabama and Auburn. But I think Alabama will make its own definition of what the declaration will be by the perfective way that they play. They demonstrate the never-say-die attitude. They have an intestinal fortitude that's second to none. And this is what really makes the declaration have the validity that is so richly deserved. So I don't have to go to that to make that declaration. You know what I mean? We have to just stand there, Alabama, make your move.
I'm just teasing with you, but you know how crazy this state is for college football. It is also developing in boxing. And, we were talking about it a couple of minutes ago with three Alabama-born boxing heavyweight champions. When you look at Joe Louis, Evander Holyfield, and now Deontay Wilder, boxing has become very popular within the state. I think you probably understand why.
Yes, it has that type of energy in Alabama that gives people that have been put in a very, very bad position to rise to the occasion saying, yes, I can, when everyone else says, no, you can't. And so, as you say, you mentioned the brown bummer Joe Louis. You say you can run, but you can't hide. And he said, we're going to win this war because God's on our side. No matter what, where, or when you go with Alabama, you're going to find the extremism that's there, but sometimes it's for good, other times it's for bad.
Let's talk about the big fight. We have talked for months. It's a historic event. Alabama has never hosted a heavyweight title fight never. I mean, in the history of this state. Saturday night, we're going to make history in Birmingham, Alabama. Let's talk about Eric Molina and Deontay Wilder in this big fight coming up Saturday night.
Well, it's going to be a great, great fight, and I'm very happy and very proud of Deontay Wilder because not only does he talk the talk, he walks the walk. And he is demonstrating again with that type of intestinal fortitude and that never-say-die attitude that he goes in with a great deal of courage, you know what I mean? And he goes in with the idea that he's going to win. It ain't no other way. Winning is the only thing, as Vince Lombardi would say. And he demonstrates this here, so it makes it quite exciting. And then you have a Mexican-American named Molina who also is intending to try to demonstrate what the Alabama Cause did, which we went to the UK, and to fight Lennox Lewis, you know what I mean? So that's what makes boxing such a great sport, Ryan, is that, one punch can make a difference, and you can't call time out and send in a substitute. You got to be able to deal with what is real. The enemy before you is your opponent, and you got to be able to deal with that, without anybody giving you anything to do anything to help you any kind of way. Because going back to the corner, you can't do when you're in the center of the ring. So that makes boxing a unique, rare, and wonderful sport. It's man-to-man. And you got to be able to deal with your problems that's set before you without anybody else but yourself, to be able to deal with it. So that makes you have a lot of stand-up qualities. And boxing has been one of those things that make that happen. Evander Holyfield likewise. And so in a time of crisis, you got a guy named Deontay Wilder. He's doing a great job. He has a great mother in Deborah. And I think it's just so fabulous that I can see this type of action taking place. And he's bringing the heavyweight title to Alabama and Birmingham.
Let me ask you, we've seen boxing grow in this state, but let's go back because we look at the heavyweights and that division, it gets our attention. It's nothing like seeing the heavyweights fight. What would it do if Wilder is able to continue the success? You talked about Molina being from a Mexican-American, lives there in Texas. What would it mean for that United States connection to rejuvenate boxing in this country?
Well, it would mean a lot because you got, the past images of Alabama, and especially with people of color, has been very, very mind-boggling, And so, therefore, for him to bring back to the platform, so to speak, of where all these things is and rise to the occasion here. You have guys that have come from here that was born here to become champion in the Evander Holyfield and the Brown Bomber, the inimitable and incomparable Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. But they were stayed outside of the South, and they stayed in different parts of the world, but in other parts of the country. Herein lies a young man who comes from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then he turns around and he brings the fight to Tuscaloosa, so to speak, in Birmingham, the largest city in Alabama. And he's making the mark where everything that we have seen historically has been something that has been left a lot to be desired. Here's a guy that's trying to change that picture from the foundation, going to the heart of it, and doing it in a manner of positiveness and bringing in a different type of excitement of the heavyweight title fight, but at the same time, bringing in to answer what everything that would be so bad and look so bad different, he's bringing a new light and new shine to that. So I think it's just it's wonderful for him to do that and for us to be here, bringing boxing back. I mean, it's certainly going back to the essence of what it all means of being able to take sports and make yourself something that, people will like and talk about, and then you can bring about change, and attitudes and things that you would say that would say, I would never change. Convince a man against his will, he'll be of the same opinion still. But if you can convince a man to learn and enlighten upward mobility, then he brings himself into the change himself because he learns the error of his ways. And so in boxing, you got to be able to learn the error of your ways. You got to be able to deal with what is right in front of you, the problem. You got to be able to rise to the occasion when you get knocked down. You got to get back up, dust yourself off, and get back into the game. So you're in it to win it. You can't give in, you can't give up, and you can't quit. If you can persevere, victory is yours.
Right now we're talking with boxing legend Don King right now inside the game in Tuscaloosa, talking about Eric Molina and Deontay Wilder going to be fighting in Birmingham, Alabama. Still a few tickets available there. And as we talk about this historic night, Don, help us understand, because we sometimes take this for granted, that you talked about some of those fighters that were born here, but they got up and left. They went to another state, another city. Deontay has made that promise that he wants to stay here in Tuscaloosa. Talk about that struggle, because you're in the business. You know what someone would love to be able to get Deontay Wilder in their camp, in their gym, in their city, and what that really means to a city like Tuscaloosa.
Well, it's a situation here where he's going to the root of what it is. Everyone else, as people of color, would be trying to escape, from Alabama. You know what I mean? Because they wasn't considered as full-class human beings, and they wasn't considered as citizens of the great nation. They were there from slavery on, and being able that slave-like mentality that existed, is what was they were trying to get away from, to be able to enjoy the fruits of America, of the conceiving of America. It's conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal. Well, that was not the case. And so the rest of them had to run to try to escape, to try to demonstrate what they were saying by action and deed, to say that wasn't the case. Deontay has taken on the battle to say, let us go to the heart of this and let us change it in this essence, that we can rise to the occasion, a country conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women are created equal, and let us do it, in a manner where the man, whoever that thought process was, will say, hey, this is something different. I'm learning something. Maybe it was a mistake to go this way. Let's go that way. And go in God's light to be able to make things happen. I like the way he expresses his feelings of God and that how he has this faith. And I attribute that to Deborah Wilder, his wonderful mother. And so, it's a great for me, because my mother was born in Opelika, Alabama. You know what I mean? So it's a thing here that you got here, Ryan, that is super sensational. You got a background that has, for people of color, has left a lot to be desired. You know what I mean? The 16th Street Baptist Church, the 4 little girls getting killed there, all for a way of life, and a belief that a will is or ain't. Whatever it is, you got to be able to deal with it. Now you find an athlete that has the type of capability, and you have the athlete that has the type of commitment to this great state of Alabama to demonstrate by action and deed that he wants to bring a change to that for worldwide review. And so that's what gives me such a pleasure to be on the Tide 99.1 with you because the game goes on and life moves on. And so he's demonstrating by action and deed that Alabama, that's what it's going to be. And when you say make that declaration between Auburn and Alabama, you just made it. Alabama, baby.
Don, break this fight down for us. When you look at Eric Molina, somebody that you're representing, when you talk about the opportunity and then this fight on Saturday night, break down Eric Molina and the opportunity that's in front of him Saturday night there in Bartow Arena in Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, Eric Molina is a guy that is a what do you call a contender that has one of those small type of titles, intercontinental title of some sort that he can deal with, and he wants to be a world champion. That desire means more to each individual than you can fathom. And so what you got here is a young guy that's going to try to do the same thing that Deontay did in beating Bermain Sterling. So it's a thing here. This is a once in a lifetime. And give you that type of challenge. Well, you got to look at it in heavyweight boxing. One punch can make a difference. Can he withstand the speed, the agility, the dexterity that Deontay will be demonstrating? Because Deontay got the state behind him, and he's with the state, so he's pushing and fighting with a commitment that is second to none. I'm very proud of the way he's dedicated and committed to the state and the people of the state, the great people of the state. So it's a thing here that my guy, Eric Molina, has got to try to rise to the occasion and have a devil be damned attitude to say, hey, I'm going to win this no matter what. I'm going to give it my all. Well, now you got to fight. An irresistible force against an immovable object. Something has got to give, and give it will on Saturday night when Eric Molina, the Texan, who does it Texas style, goes in there against Deontay Wilder, who is doing it Alabama style. So you got something that's going to be super sensational, and I want the world to know it's going to be a fantastic fight, and it would be also a great homecoming to say, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. It brings a people power situation where people get together and we understand one another. They find out they have so many things in common that it's just so wonderful when you be able to address people as I do around the world, not being able to speak their language, but the body gesticulations, the attitudes, the things that happen that say, hey, I had a wrong concept about this here. This guy's okay. This one's that okay. So you go and you learn from interchanging of conversation and discussion and debate. You find out that we all got a lot of common things together that we can do. So sports brings people together. It's the catalyst of making this sport. Michael Jackson, the great inimitable Michael Jackson, said, music is the ribbon that ties humanity together. And I told him, I added to that boxing is the catalyst that brings humanity together to be tied. So between the two of us, we got humanity there, and you find people that will do different things after they get to know you, which goes to the song you used to sing, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So I think it's just a wonderful thing to go right into the, into the pit of whatever it would be and bring it out. And that's what the Alabama football team does. They take it from the rooter to the tutor. They don't let nothing get in the way, and they don't let nothing stop them with their commitment, their dedication, their determination, and their enthusiasm. And that's what demonstrates, the excellency, other than from just the pursuit of excellency. So Eric has got his hands thrown down here, hometown crowd, but that's what makes a champion great. And Eric is coming to put on a fight. And if Eric says, God willing, I'll be the new heavyweight champion of the world on the 13th on Showtime, that will be seen all throughout the nation and around the world. So I'm excited about it, and I'm very happy to be on the 99.1, the tie, the game that goes on. And to be there with Ryan, it makes me feel good all over, man. So keep on keeping on.
Well, hey, I've got two questions here, and I'm gonna make sure that you make that NBA basketball game, because I know you've got a little home state battle there.
Yes. Talk to him. Tell him what it is. It's Cleveland Cavaliers against the what's the name of that other team? I can't even think of it.
I don't even know that team. What was the?
You know what? Just put it into Auburn and Alabama. You know what I mean? If you're gonna talk to me, let's talk about the Cavaliers. I don't know who the visitors are. You know what I mean? But the idea is they do have a super player there. That's that guy Curry. Stephen Curry is just a magnificent player, and he don't discriminate. He throws 3-pointers from anywhere and everywhere.
All right, so I'm going to go back, and no doubt we'll see if your hometown team there, the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, is able to do the magic there against Golden State. I want to ask you, because I'm a rookie at covering press conferences, okay, in boxing. I've covered a lot of college football press conferences, national championship games. But let me ask you, as someone who has covered press conferences before, those things can get a little heated like they did today a little bit. I know that's the fun of boxing, but has there ever been a time where you look back at your career and you're representing a couple different guys and you go, we're a couple days early, but I think this fight's fixing to break out right here in the press conference. Have you ever been one of those and you look at it and you say, hold on a minute, guys, let's not do it here. Let's wait to get inside that ring?
Well, you have had that on several occasions. You have to really get in there to stop them, because they get in there. I've seen guys slap other guys, and I've seen guys hit the other guys, you know what I mean, and be able to hold a fight together. You have to really be able to do a lot of talking and a lot of cajoling and a lot of, paying attention to the person that you're dealing with, because they're emotionally set. And when you say something that tears them off, like they did today with Deontay, he was giving his spiel, that was electrifying enough. But then when the other guy's team got in there, you deal with it. But that's the I sport, you know what I mean? And see, in the team sport, there is no I in team. It's a T-E-A-M, and if they're very good, it's on the B-E-A-M. All right, that's on the beam. All right, so but in boxing, it's man to man. It is an I type of situation where the best man wins. You know what I mean? And so you heard all of them, John L. Sullivan, so I can whoop any man alive. I mean, they say these things and they feel these things. It ain't like it's being out there to propagandize or to make the fight hit hotter or whatever it is. It is the way they believe. You know what I mean? And so they figure if the mind can conceive it, the body can achieve it. And so they work on it in that way. So you're in an I sport. And so this makes the difference between the team sport and the I sport. But the team goes where you get them together where they can talk and program and prepare for success. That takes the team in there. Everybody's on the team. But when you get in that ring, you are by yourself. And whatever you didn't contain and maintain through the training preparation, it's too late. You ain't going to find it now. You know what I mean? Because there's no gas station in sight if you run out of gas. You know what I mean? And there's no time out, for the last 2 seconds to try to get a different type of blow that you're going to throw to make things happen. You got to deal with what is real, that opponent in front of you. So it makes you have to deal with your frustrations and your problems extemporaneously. You don't have the time to be able to go and find a way to go back in the books and take what you can do and research and have everybody strategizing for you. If you hadn't strategized and you haven't contained the strategy, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to do whatever you have to do to get out of that trouble and be victorious. So it's a great deal of difference there. That's what makes it such a manly art, such a great sport, because anything can happen. The word upsets hovers over the ring in any heavyweight title fight, from the best to the less. So it's a thing that we got an exciting evening of boxing coming up on Saturday night. And this is the only sport in the world where two people promote each other all night long, and when the bell rings for the last round, if it ain't a knockout, they both embrace each other and say what it is. That's what we should take a lesson from. And each one say, good game, a good fight, my man, blah, blah, blah. They don't go out with animosity, hostility, divisiveness, and things of that sort. They hug each other because they know they have had a manly art, that they're the sweet science, And so this is what makes it so great, and especially to be here in Birmingham, Alabama, and the home of the state of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Opelika, Alabama. So it really makes me feel good to be in Alabama with a guy that has captured the imagination of the Alabamian people, and now is going to extol it and put it around the world, disseminate it around the world, and that took a lot of nerve and a lot of guts too. So it's a thing here. I'm happy to be a part of it, Ryan, and you got a super sensational event. That press conference is just a taste of what's to come. And they got kind of excited, and when I was between them two guys, I had to keep cautioning them and then try to make certain, because one more pin drop, you know what I mean, and then you got a fight right there in the middle of the thing where you don't get paid for,
Well, Don, I want to say thank you so much. And really, you look at Alabama. I know you were part of that, bringing this fight to the state of Alabama. And on behalf of the great state of Alabama, we appreciate what you were able to do with Wilder's camp and Molina's camp to make this happen in Birmingham. I thank you so much for spending some time with me here in Tuscaloosa. And I guess I can say this: go Cleveland Cavaliers! Go beat Golden
Hey, man,
State.
you can say that, and I just want to say I love the people of Alabama. You know what I mean? It's a great state of Alabama, and what we got to do is come together, work together, and pray together, you know what I mean, for the greatest nation in the world, which is America. And we got to work with unity, solidarity, and togetherness for the upward mobility and the elevation of our country to make it right. And we have to say thank you to those men and women of the armed services that are the vanguard of our nation, that protect our souls so that we can enjoy the liberties and freedoms that we do have and that we do enjoy, that would enable us to have a fight here in Alabama. So I'm just so happy about the armed services and General David Petraeus and all of them as I was going across the Middle East and Seoul and in Baghdad and Iraq, you know what I mean, to see those young men and women that are the vanguard, the defenders of our freedoms and liberties. Never forget them. They get every fight that we do. They get that first and get it free live and on the TV on the Armed Forces Network. So I'm just as thrilled as you are. And in fact, I might say more so, Ryan, because you're a dynamite guy, and not only that, you're young and coming on. The rest of them are old and going on. So you bring a new refreshing breeze to the state of Alabama. You bring a different insight, and as you know, the Bible says the child will lead them. So I'm just so very proud of you, and being on 99.1, you know, it makes me feel good. And when you say the tide, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Nothing is like that tide, you know what I mean, when the group is coming in, you know what I mean? So, and be washed away with the tide. So let us wash away the negativity and bring on the positivity so that we can make America understand that Alabama today, Alabama tomorrow, Alabama forever, we're going to make it happen. So here we are. I'm on 99.1, the tide, with the great commentator, Ryan, and I'm happy to be here, and you're going to see a great fight, Alabamians. If you can't be there on the scene, then check it out live and in living color, then check it out on the screen. Get showtime and be able to witness a history in the making.
Don, thank you so much for your time. I hope we can talk again. I'll see you Saturday night there in Bartow Arena. Thank you again, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Look forward to seeing you.